What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, this is important stuff. This is recent news. The GFL officially has its first 2 cards booked. They are on the books. They are signed, sealed and delivered to take place May 24th and May 25th in Los Angeles, and we are gonna all be there for the live fight companion on my channel and my channel only, because I have claimed being the GFL's #1 enthusiast. So if anyone else is running fight companions for the GFL, don't even bother with them. You got to come here, and I'm copywriting any GFL content that any other YouTubers make, because we are the GFL on this channel. No, but I'm excited. I'm pumped. You know, we are all excited to watch a bunch of 43-year-olds on 7-fight losing streaks fight each other. You know, it's going to be tremendous stuff, and I'm going to be talking about the cards, giving my early predictions. I'm going to take this extremely seriously come fight. Like, right now, I'm just going to be kind of talking about the fights, but when these fights come around, I best believe I'm doing a full card prediction and breakdown for GFL 1 and GFL 2. Best believe. Anyway, let's start off, and we're going to first talk about their opening inaugural event, which is headlined by Barao and Uriah Faber. So these two, they've fought before. I believe this is a trilogy. I want to say they're 1-1. Would be my assumption, but maybe not. But regardless, this is the main event for the first. Look, to be honest, like Benson Henderson, Anthony Pettis probably could have been main event. Like I just say. But Barao, you know, big Barao in 2025 is not something I thought I'd be seeing. How long since Barao's last fight? Let's check this out. Jamie, pull up Barao. Joe Rogan's going to jump on his podcast talking like, people forget, man, Barao was a monster. He was on a 30-fight win streak. Right now, dude's rocking a 6-fight losing streak. He's lost 8 out of his last 9. 9 out of his last 11, I believe. I think, yeah, 9 losses out of his last 11 fights. He's obviously his third most recent win was in 2014. His third most recent win was at UFC 169 against that very man. He's not even 1-1. He's 2-0 over Faber. So again, if they were anywhere near their primes, I would be picking Barao. But you know, he's coming off a 6-fight losing streak compared to Faber, who is, you know, not at the best of it, but he is coming off only 1 loss. Again, it was in 2019. He hasn't fought since. But, you know, he beat Ricky Simone. He did do that. He did beat Brad Pickett, you know, well-respected elite fighter Brad Pickett. He did beat Frankie Saenz. You know, on paper, he's better than Merab, because Frankie Saenz beat Merab. But, like, you know, who's, even, like, age-wise, I think Faber's older. But, like, who's going to be further out of their prime? I think Barao, so I guess I'm going to pick Uriah Faber. There will be no tape study done for these cards. I best believe I'm just going to be vibe checking this. Like, you're picking a bunch of fucking 50-year-olds, like, you just got to go off who you think's, like, had a hip surgery less recently. You know, who's had more fucking spinal reconstructions? You pick against them. Anyway, let's move on to the co-main event. We are all going to be there for the highly anticipated trilogy between these two 40-year-old midgets. Anyway, let's move on. We are all excited for Anthony Pettis versus Benson Henderson 7. And you can't fact check me on that. I'm pretty sure this is like the 12th time they fought each other. I'm not kidding. These dudes are going to have about 6 fights in combat sport. I've changed that number 5 times. But these guys are going to have a fucking 10-fight series. You know, these guys, no, they're going to have a set. These guys are going to be doing some NBA playoffs type shit. Like fucking SGA, PGA, USA. Pettis in 6. Anthony Pettis is going to claim this series within 6 games, you know. What is the official record across all combat sports? So I want to check. Because I know they fought in karate combat. So I'm going to pick Pettis, just because I think he's less washed. And he's 38, a little bit younger. So I'm going to go with Anthony Pettis here. MMA, I think, also probably favors him. You're expecting analytical breakdowns on fucking Anthony Pettis, Benson Henderson 6, then I don't know what you've come to this channel for. But so they fought in WEC, obviously, with the cage kick. They fought again. They fought at UFC 164. They fought at WEC 53, and then they fought at Karate Combat. So this is the 4th time they have locked horns in a combat sports event or setting. Who won the Karate Combat? I should know this, but Who won? Why can I not find this anywhere? Does it have it on Tapology? Surely Pettis won. You gotta think Pettis won. Pettis won by 18 minutes, 6-round decision. What the fuck was it a 6-round fight for? Anyway, but yeah, this is a highly anticipated quadrilogy right here. You know, we are all looking forward to this one. I'll go Pettis. You know, Benson, he invented the calf kick. You know, Benson might pull out the calf kick. I need to do a like UFC. What's like a tier list I could do to like talk about like just Joe Rogan's favorite fighters. Like, I need to do a Joe Rogan people forget man tier list type shit. Like Benson Henderson's top tier. But anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we've got Chad Mendes versus this dude. I believe his name is Mike Lane Harris. Dude's kid's pretty good, you know. Yeah, I don't know the fuck this guy. I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. You know, I don't know who this guy is. Seems pretty decent, got a decent record, so I might pick him. Is Chad Mendes all the way washed? Like, he's fought in BKFC, right? Like, tasty shots at it. He lost to Eddie Alvarez in BKFC. But his last actual MMA fight was Volk, right? Which he gave Volk a tough fight. So, you know, if he's not washed, he should beat this Michael and Harris kid. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'll give my official predictions when the cards actually come about. Because again, are we really confident all of these matchups are going to hold together? Like, are we confident we're not going to get a fucking, breaking news, guys, fucking Ray Borg, or like, I don't know, Ray Borg's not even old. Like, okay, breaking news, guys, Uriah Faber's dislocated his butt chin. He's dislocated the left side of his chin, and he's out of the fight. You know, where in steps Cody fucking Garbrandt. Like, who knows what's happening here? Because these fights, I don't believe any of these are happening until they're in the cage. Because these guys are a bunch of old men, so you just can't trust them to show up. Like, bro, Mike, we had Fabricio Verdum versus Frank Mir. And then Frank Mir had to fucking like have like emergency surgery and almost died. So he's not fighting anymore. But Alexio Leonard came out the other day and said like, I can't fight. Like we're saying how his wife divorced him, or whatever. His ex divorced him, took all his money. He's like, I can't fight because of my health. But he's signed on the GFL. So I don't know what's going on. I think we have to do Olenek versus Frank Mir, just like battle of the fucking cripples, to be honest. But anyway, let's move on. Rumor has it they're actually signing Mark Coleman. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we got Derek Brunson, Omari Akhmedov. Yep, this fight would have been an absolute banger in about 2019. Not even 2017. This shit would have gone crazy. Omari Akhmedov, Derek Brunson. I'm gonna go Brunson. You know, Brunson, like, his last fight in the UFC was the goofiness against Dricus, where like he actually held up okay and then just died. But like, that's the Brunson special. And then he was booked against Delidzi and then just kind of, he didn't even like get injured. He just decided, he's like, nah, I don't really want to fight anymore. But then he went to PFL and won. So I'm going to be picking him to beat Omari Akhmedov. I think Akhmedov is shit. He was never that good and he's even less good at this point. So I'll go with my boy Derek Brunson. We are all looking forward to this one. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we got this kid, Sage Northcutt. You might not have heard about him. Kid's got a good future ahead of him. He's fighting, I believe his name is Lucas Martins, former UFC fighter. Who the fuck knows? I don't even know if Sage Northcutt's any good. Like, I think everyone kind of just like makes fun of him for just being like a failed prospect in the UFC. But like, he might be half decent. Who knows? I don't know. Again, predictions will be given when the cards are here. Like, I will actually lock in and just give full. I'll do the inside foot battle breakdown for Lucas Martins versus fucking Sage Northcutt. The kid's name is. But anyway. I love how on the when they were initially doing the draft, which wasn't actually a fucking draft, it was a scam draft. But when they were doing that so-called draft, they're like, yeah, we've got prospects like Sage Northcutt and Kevin Lee. I'm like, all right, first of all, Sage Northcutt is like not completely indefensible, but like still, the dude's lost like 5 times. You cannot be calling Kevin Lee a prospect in 2025, brother. Like that can't be happening. He's like, we got veterans and established names like Frank Mir and Fabricio Verdum, and then young prospects like Sage Northcutt and Kevin Lee. I'm just like, brother, Kevin Lee fought for an interim title in about 2017. Like, he's not a prospect. That was 8 years ago. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. We are all looking forward to Marlon Moraes, who's on a 7-fight losing streak, fighting Ray Borg, who's a flyweight. To be fair, I just imagined Ray Borg being a fucking unk, but like, he's 31. Like, dude was fighting in the UFC when he was young as hell, because, yeah, he's only 31 right now, and he's actually winning fights. But the difficulty here is, like, Marlon Moraes will lose to anyone with, like, an ounce of power. Ray Borg has 1 TKO on his fucking record. Like, look, if you get Marlon Moraes, buddy, if you get KO'd by flyweight fucking 4'1" Ray Borg, like, you gotta pack it up. Ray Borg's 5'4". Moraes, I thought it was taller than he was. It's only got him listed at 5'6", but Ray Borg, is he going to win this one? Who knows? He fought in Eagle FC. He actually beat Cody Gibson in Eagle FC, which is fair. Split decision loss to Ricky Simone. Not a bad look. Like, how old was this dude when he debuted in the UFC? He debuted in the UFC in fucking 2014. He debuted in the UFC when he was 20 years of age. What the fuck is that? So yeah, apparently I thought Ray Borg would be like an unk, but no, he's actually just young. Like, he's just a midget. But Marlon Moraes, yeah, the record's not looking too good, buddy. You got a 77% KO loss ratio. Gabriel Braga finished him in the first round. He got finished with leg kicks by... Look, he hasn't fought in about 2 years, so maybe he'll come back with a granite chin. But I don't know. It's going to be... I lean Borg based off, like, speed and shit, but... Moraes, if he shot, like, he's actually still not awful at fighting. He just can't take damage. So, I might go Moraes here. We'll see. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we got Roblobos de Spain versus Todd Duffy. Todd Duffy, yeah, this man can't take damage. So, look, can Todd Duffy grapple him? Potentially, if he has a brain. Like, Roblobos will legitimately get out-grappled by anyone who can shoot a double leg. If you've taken one trial wrestling class in your life and you can complete a double leg, you can beat Roblobos de Spain. But let's look up Todd Duffy. Is he a guy who goes to the takedowns much in his fights? I know he's got 4 KO. I think all of his losses are actually by KO. There was a time when he was actually like a prospect. He's 39 years old now. Let's see. Who's he taken down? Has he taken down anyone notable? He took down Jeff Hughes once. He got taken down by Phil DeFries. And he actually won that fight. It says here. What else? He got over him. No. Okay, so he doesn't really get any takedowns. Says he's got a 25% takedown accuracy. Yeah, Todd Duffy, you might be cooked, buddy. Todd Duffy's on the ropes. He's out here. I think he got KO'd by Phil DeFries recently, though, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, his most recent fight in KSW, he got finished by Phil DeFries in the first round. So that initial win isn't even good on the resume. But yeah, before that it was a 4-year layoff from that no contest against Jeff Hughes. Before that it was a 4-year layoff again from when he got slept by Frank Mir. You can't be getting KO'd by Frank Mir at any point in your career. No, okay, Frank Mir was good once upon a time, but 2015 Frank Mir was not a force to be reckoned with. I'm sorry. Like, respectfully, like, that was 10 years ago for Big Unk Frank Mir. He was 35. Okay, to be fair, he was 35 then. But let's see. At that time, he was coming off... Okay, he did KO... he was coming off a 4-fight losing streak, and then he KO'd Bigfoot Silver, and then he KO'd Duffy, and then he lost again and then he went on another 4-fight losing streak. And now he's had a fucking hip replacement and got signed up to the GFL when he can't fucking walk. But anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up and last notable fight to discuss, we got Gleison Tibau versus Alex Oliveira. Yeah, this gun's going to be absolute banger. We are looking forward to Gleison Tibau fighting in 2025. How old is Big Unk Gleison Tibau? Gleison Tibau looks like the guy who runs the Brazilian barbecue at my fucking local jiu-jitsu competitions, bro. That's what Gleison... to be fair, both of them do. But Gleison Tibau, dude's 41 years of age, turning 42 in July. 39 and 19, that's some Anthony Smith level record right there. But, people forget, man, he beat Khabib. But he's coming off 2 wins. That's good. In Warriors Night MMA in September 24, he won a decision over Joel Kajuda. You know, before that he had 3 losses. He had 4 losses. He lost to Magomed Karamov, who's actually solid in PFL. Alexei Kun, he just lost to a bunch of Russians. Alright, fair enough. Fair dues. Abel Trujillo, Islam, Desmond Grant, like, these are all the UFC losses. But Alex Oliveira, what's Big Unk Oliveira been up to? When was his last fight? Let's see. Let's have a gander. Have a geeze, eh? If my fucking Sherdog wants to load. It's not doing me any favors. But Alex Oliveira obviously had that fight with Holland, you know, where he had a rear naked choke attempt, and Holland was completely fine. He's coming off... Okay, so he's actually had a bunch of fights since he left the UFC. So he left the UFC after the Holland fight. What the fuck? He's fought like 7 times since then. Most of them have been lost. He lost to Kiefer Crosby. Yeah, I'm picking Gleason Tebow, brother. You can't be getting KO'd by Kiefer Crosby in the first. Got KO'd by a spinning... How old is this dude? He's 37. So Tebow's older, but Tebow's roided to the gills, you can tell. So I'll back him to win. Because, yeah, Oliveira, spinning back kick TKO inside a minute to Alexander Grozin. I don't know if Alexander Grozin is any good. He's 24-5, to be fair. That looks like a pretty good record. Alexander Shamalenko, 66-15, 42-year-old man. All right, cold. He has a KO slam win over Stefan Sekulic. We're bringing out the weeds for this one. 14-8, Croatian, Serbian dude. Sorry, I didn't call it. Yeah, though I'm gonna get some fucking angry Croatians in the crowd, angry Serbians and Croatians in the comments. But yeah, I'll go with Big Unk Gleason Tebow. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight, and we're moving on to the next card now, actually. But quickly, sorry, I will just actually read out the rest of this card, just because I'm not gonna fucking do like an individual thing for every fight on this card, but. We got, so yeah, as I said, main event, Uriah Faber, Henan Barao, co-main, Pettis Henson, 7. Holly Holm vs. Julia Budd is on the card. Holm's going to just, win all these women's fights. Mendez, Lynn Harris, as I said, Derek Bunton, Akhmedov. We got Sage Northcutt. We got Marlon Moraes, Ray Borg. Aspen Ladd's on there against 11-8 opponent. That's a nice record right there. Kat Zingano's there, solid. Against an 8-5 person. We got Neiman Gracie versus Danny Roberts. That is the one UFC fight I didn't talk about. And we got Jessica Penne, another unranked women's fighter, fighting a Brazilian. We got Charles Rosa, former UFC featherweight, versus... Yeah, I'm not going to bother with that one. Kumyuen Tukhramadidov. Yes, there we go. And then we got some chick versus some chick. There we go. So that is that first card. But now let's move on to the second card. Next up, so GFL 2, the day after. This is going to piss me off because it's going to be a fucking Monday in Australia, bro. It's going to be Sunday for the first one, and the next one's going to be a fucking Monday, I'm pretty sure. Wait, let me just double check. Hopefully it's one Saturday, one Sunday. I don't have faith for that, though. Let's check. May. Oh, no, it is. Okay, sorry. Wait, no, because it's the 25th. Yeah, it's the 25th in America, so it's going to be the fucking... It's going to be so yeah, I'm going to be doing Monday MMA. You already know, we are going to be live streaming GFL 2, Danis vs. Ferguson on a fucking Monday arvo in Australia. That's going to be great. I'm taking the day off work for that one. But, yeah, Danis vs. Tony. It's just a thing with Dylan Danis is you can't really know how good he is. Because, yes, he's got the grappling background, which would lead you to believe he's probably going to win. Because, again, Tony... The thing he's struggled with more than anything has just been out-physicalitied by younger dudes or just stronger men where he's undersized. Dylan Danis is a welterweight. Tony Ferguson is not. I hate to say it. I'm going to probably end up just picking Danis and then praying to anyone who exists up high that he will allow Tony to get a win and just free up. Because, there's a different level of, okay, it's sad, he's on a losing streak, we wanted... And then when it got to the Paddy, we're like, okay, please fucking beat Paddy, but he was never going to. But then now it's Dylan Danis, and it's like, yeah, I can't... There's one step further than Dylan Danis, and it's fucking Neon, bro. So don't let us get to the step where we have to be hoping you beat fucking Neon in a fight. Because, yes, you would, but, pump Neon full of some roids and he might get a fucking RNC over Tony Ferguson. Anyway, though, I'll probably go with Danis just because, he's training with Pereira. He's just getting beaten up by Pereira, but I don't know. It's something at least. Tony's just, doing some weird shit. Get Tony over to Yuri. Yuri might be the only guy who approaches his career in a weirder way than Tony Ferguson. But we can hope that Danis loses and gets brutalized. We'll see, though. He looked awful. To be fair, dude got humiliated on the feet by Logan Paul in a boxing match. So, is his striking dog shit? And, okay, now it's MMA. Is his takedowns any good? Is he good at anything but jiu-jitsu? Or is he just going to be fucking Kron Gracie in there? We'll see. I hope Ferguson wins, but I just cannot trust it. If we're getting betting lines for GFL, what do you guys think they would be? I think it'd be, minus 200 Danis, to be honest. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we got OSP versus Alexander Gustafsson. This is some prime 2018 light heavyweight level fight right here, 2017 fight. I'm shocked if this hasn't happened. I'm going to have to pull this up because, like, there's no way that these two have just been... I don't think it has. And if it has, then don't call me a fucking casual for not knowing. But let me check. Alexander Gust, because you just, like, they were roughly around the same, like, OSP fought for the belt at the same time Gust was in the division. So, like, you would have assumed they would have, like, crossed paths, but I don't think they have. No fight between the two of them. They both fought Shogun. Gus, it's tough to know with Gus, because, like, he's been out for longer. I don't think he's fought... I don't know. I know if he hasn't fought, like, MMA since the Krylov one. I don't think he's fought anything. I think Gus has just been out. But again, he's not too old, so I have some faith. Like, I think he's, 38? OSP, I believe, is 41. So, I can back Gustafsson here, to be honest. Like, I don't think OSP has, like, fuck all power. He beat Kennedy and Zedriku, because Kennedy and Zedriku fought like a fucking retard. And didn't know how to fight for what? Like, dude went from KO and Carlos Olberg to losing a point fight to fucking OSB. But yeah, I don't know. I can back Gus here, unless he's just completely cooked. Like, this is not even like who's better. It's just who's more physically deteriorated. Like, who's just more fried in all aspects. Anyway, though, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we got, what's the kid's name? Douglas Lima. I keep calling him Diego. That's the fucking shootbox coach. Versus Uriah Hall. I gotta go Uriah Hall. I'm just gonna back UFC comp as, like, a base for MMA. And he's not all the way like, okay, yeah, he's kind of washed, let's be honest, but what's he been up to? Uriah Primetime Hall. What's he... MMA-wise, has he done anything since the UFC? I'll have to check. Surely he's... I don't think he did a boxing thing and he lost, I want to say. But Douglas Lima, is he good? Yeah, he's decent. Maybe Douglas Lima wins. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. My fucking Sherdog just every time refuses to load. It's pissing me off. But Uriah Hall, let's just go to Topology instead. Let's see. 17-11. Rough record. He lost to Julio Cesar Chavez in boxing. He beat Le'Veon Ball in boxing. Before that, it was the Meniz loss by decision. So, he's fighting Douglas Lima. Douglas Lima's a bum. He's not a bum. He lost to MVP cleanly. Like, he caught him, fluked him. That's like his career highlight. He's got a big record though, but yeah, like, recently he's been pretty much just losing. He beat Costello Van Steenis. Good win. But no, like, lost to Aaron Jeffrey, Renat in grappling, Jason Jackson, MVP, Gegard. So, like, not bad losses. Yaroslav Amaslov. But, I don't know. How old is he? Let's check. He is 37. So, they're both oldish. I'll just back being a, like, mid-level ranked UFC middleweight as to, like, a Bellator guy who kind of fluked a win over MVP, and that was his, like, claim to fame. Anyway, though, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we got Thiago Santos, Devin Clark. Again, this is just some high-level stuff right here. I'll go Thiago Santos, just because Devin Clark's awful. Thiago Santos could have no knees and no arms, and he'd probably still, like, he could have, like, yeah, no physical, like, ACLs or anything. He'd just still probably, like, oblique kick, fucking, he'd still just clinch against the fence, and win. Like, Devin Clark's awful. Like, I've picked him too many times to win based off, like, athleticism and stuff, and then he just lets me down every fucking time. Like, he let himself just get walked down and tuned up by a fucking Marcin Prachnio. Like, he's not super old, but 14-9, dude's just not trustworthy. Like, Prachnio lost, Kennedy and Zedriku beat him comfortably, subbed him. Dawoon Jung win, alright, cool. KO'd by Mirzakhanov. Beat William the Statue Knight, lost to Kutalaba, lost to Smith. Beat Menefield, to be fair, so, like, lost to Span. So the losses aren't atrocious, some of them. I hate the Prachnio loss, so that's a fucking awful look. Thiago Santos recently, I know he did sign to the PFL, so what's he been doing? He's coming off a win in, why does it only have Thiago Santos's, it's got a different Thiago, they put the wrong Thiago Santos, bro. This is not the right Thiago Santos. I was like, hang on, why is his last win in 2017? But, what's Santos been up to? Let's check, we have to check this. Thiago Santos, I know he's fought elsewhere, He's 41. Devin Clark, again, not super old, but just shit. Like, I'd rather pick an old fighter who's, like, decent than, like, someone who's young, but just shit. OSP, Thiago Santos can craft it up. 22-13 for Santos. A whole lot of losses recently. Getting KO'd by Danis Goltsov in the PFL. I think that's their heavyweight guy, though. Romero lost in the PFL by kind of dead decision. Wilkinson, no contest. Jamal Hill, KO loss. Oh, TKO. Ankalaev beat him. Before that, he beat Johnny Walker, obviously. But, yeah, I don't know. I'll go Thiago Santos. I just hate picking Devin Clark in a fight. Anyway, let's move on. And there was the last 3 fights there. You just got some random fucks, you know. Phil Hawes is probably copping a W, to be honest. Like, I actually do think, when I made my initial, like, 5 videos about this card, and everyone's like, who do you think's going to do well? I said Phil Hawes, because, yes, these guys are, like, yes, he has no chin, but, like, the old guys automatically have no chin. Like, his chin just deteriorates. The old guys just have absolutely no chin. Like, theirs is fucking advantage. A lot of them probably have worse chins than Phil Hawes. And I'm like, he still has athleticism. He still has power. He still has speed. He just doesn't have a chin. It's like he's literally the Cody Garbrandt of middleweight. Got all the offensive skills, no chin, right? But all these old fucks, like, are they that quick twitch that they're even going to be able to catch him? Like, no. So I don't know who the fuck is fighting, some bum. But I'll pick him to win. Otherwise, like Abubakar Nurmagomedov, he'll probably win as well, and then the other kid, he'll probably win as well. No one fucking cares. Anyway, I'll read out the full card for this one too. Let's check this. Let's go to GFL 2 on Tapology. Where is it? But yeah, this fight, I'm excited for this. Like, genuinely, I'm actually pumped. Like, 4 p.m. ET. What's that here? That's going to be like a 7 a.m. start time. Jesus Christ. 4 p.m. ET. Yeah, so I'm going to be up at 7 a.m. on a fucking Monday watching the GFL. Cold. Anyway, GFL 2. So what do you think's better? I'll read out the second card, and I'll read out the first card one more time. So, second card, Danis Ferguson, OSP Gus, Hall Lima, Paige Van Zant's fighting some bum, Luis Glizman versus Abubakar Nurmagomedov, Lima McFarlane versus Viviane Pereira, Alan Belcher, Stuart Austin. We'll forget, man. Stuart Austin beat Aspinall. Thiago Santos, Devin Clark, Lorenz Larkin versus some undefeated Argentinian. Jimmy Rivera versus Cameron Elsey. We got Natasha Kutsinina versus Jessica Aguilar. We got Phil Hawes, Grant Neal. That's the kid's name. We got Kai Kamaka, Mike Grundy. We got Darwin Jung, Ronnie Marks. I'll pick Darwin Jung probably. And then we got Mao Ding, some ABG girl who's mid, actually. She's not even... Her profile makes her look hot, but she's not. Versus Josephine Knudsen. That Knudsen will win because she's actually talented. And then, yeah, quickly back to the first card. You guys let me know in the comments which one's better. I'll put up a poll on my channel. But yeah, I think the first one is a bit better, I'd say. Like, main event in the second one is more intriguing in terms of, like, it'll have more anticipation, it'll get more views. Like, again, Faber, Barao, Pettis, Hendo, Holm, Bud, Mendez, Linharis, Brunson, Akhmedov, Northcutt, Martins, Marais, Borg, Ladd, Lara, Despain, Duffy, Zingano, Connors, Gracie, Roberts, Penne, Mara Rosa, Takmaredov. Gleason. Yeah, I definitely. The first one is for sure more stacked. You can just tell based on how many fights I actually talked about for the first one. Second one, if we're ranking the like anticipation levels of the fights, I'd say like number one is gotta be Ferguson Danis. It'll just get the most views. And then like, what's the second best fight out of all the other fights? Struggle to know. Who cares? Anyway, that'll do it, guys. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. I actually am curious, like, what do we... Because apparently we're getting Mousasi versus Brunson. Mousasi versus Yoel Romero on a card in June, I believe. Let's check if that has that anywhere. But, yeah, apparently... I don't know what these guys' scheduling's going to be. Apparently they're doing, like, 2 cards a month. But, like, the 2 cards are, like, back-to-back. So, like, bang. Double hit. Hit you back-to-back. There's no UFC on that weekend, by the way, so they probably are going to steal all the views. Yoel Romero, they don't have it officially booked, but I'm pretty sure he said he's fighting Mousasi in June. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see what other guys they can get on their roster or they can get fighting. Anyway, though, goodbye. Demir Ismagulov's going to fucking mop up shop. Woodley, we need to see Woodley. We need to see Rockhold. we need to see all these guys. So yeah, looking forward to that. We need to see fucking Fabricio over Doom. We need to see, what's the kid's name, JDS. So yeah, lots of stuff to look forward to here. Anyway, guys, goodbye.